Okay, so I think I'm audible and visible to all of you. Yeah, so fine. Yeah, so let me invite today's guest. So, hello everyone. Welcome to Euron, first of all. And today we are doing a podcast with an amazing person called as Harshit. So, obviously, we'll talk more about Harshit, we'll talk more about his experiences, and we'll try to discuss about a tech industry or a technology in which Harshit is teaching or maybe Harshit is trying to contribute. So let me welcome Harshit on our platform. So Harshit, thank you so much for coming over here on a Euron platform. And yeah, so over to you. If you can talk a little bit about yourself and then with the follow-up question, so we can try to start.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sudhanshu sir, for inviting me. It's really great to having a discussion with you. So I'll start with the introduction. So I'm Harshit, and currently I am pursuing my master's in data science from NYU. I have previous experience working at Amazon as a business intelligence engineer, and apart from that, I also serve as an instructor and a mentor at Upgrad, where I teach different technologies like software engineering, Python, and data science. I also serve as a subject matter expert at HackerRank, where I'm involved in the curation and the reviewing of the content that goes on there. So, yeah, that is pretty much about me.
So Harshit, I think you're doing a lot of things, right? So I just have a like out of curiosity, I just have a question for you that what is your educational background, by the way? So, which year? So, you have done your undergrad, or what you are doing? As you have already mentioned, you are doing data science from NIU, right? So, apart from that, so what was your previous education? If you can just try to enlighten us a little bit.
Sure, sure, definitely. So I've completed my bachelor's in computer science in 2023, and I have worked for like 1.5 year. So the 1.5 year will be like sort of 1 year at Amazon, and I've also worked for 6, 7 months at a company called Zeta, which belongs to the DirectEye Group. So there I worked as a software development engineer. And after that, I decided to go more into when I was working at Amazon. So my work was basically the data visualization, the data analytics that you see, so mostly related to SQL, Python. But what I felt was like I wanted to dive deeper into what you call the core data science or core modeling and prediction things that you are doing. So I decided to pursue my master's here from NYU, and yeah, here I am.
Okay, okay. So, Harshit ji, just tell me one thing. So what things you like most, a software engineering part or analytics part? Because you said that you are working into analytics and teaching software engineering. So which is your favorite part? And based on that, so obviously I'll try to ask a couple of more questions.
All right. So software engineering was something that like I used to do all the time in my undergrad and I used to love it. But when I got exposed to both of them, so data science and data analytics was something which I felt more interesting. So as of now, if you ask me, so data
So
science is
why
something
it
that
is
excites me
interesting?
more.
Why it is interesting? Because according to people, so we just write a code, right? So whether it's a software engineering or maybe it's a data science or like analytics, so we just like write a code, understand the data. Maybe yeah, business process will be different. So what is the interesting part in that?
So for me, what I feel is like the more innovation that I can get, more close I can get to real life is with the help of data science. Because if you see, with data science, you get to predict what things will happen. So I see data science uh, as something which more closely solves the problem or makes me feel connected with the real life problems that I have, and
Okay.
the innovation or the things that are going to happen or are being worked on is quite interesting when we talk about data science and AI. So that is what excites me.
Okay, okay. So, how much time does it take tentatively for anyone, right? Let's suppose I'm just like a beginner, a fresher, basically. And this question I used to ask to everyone because this is kind of a contextual one, right? So for everyone, so it's not going to be same. So how much time in general it takes for anyone coming from no coding background, coming from no data science or data analytics experience at all, to learn at least a basic and go for an interview in general?
All right. So in general, if we talk about, so if you are starting like right from start, so you don't start with the data science stuff, because that is something which will be clear if you first go through the software engineering part, because that is where you start learning with the basics. So what feel is, if someone's starting afresh, they should first not focus on the let's say the crazy things which are going on. So not the pure data science stuff, but they should start with, because what most of the people, what creates problem for most of the people is, when they start, they just want to go to the web development or the AI ML things. So just skip that. And if you skip that and you keep your mind fresh, then it won't take more than 3 months to be interview prepared, starting from the basics. But again, if you get distracted with this stuff and then you go there, you will take much more time.
Okay, okay. And then I have seen people that most of the people, right? So obviously they say that data science or data analytics is one of the amazing field. And again, so I know a lot of software engineers as well. So who says that no, their like a job is way more amazing as compared to any data guy. And most of them, when I used to like do a deep conversation with them, right? So most of them says that I'm getting a better payment in a software engineering or maybe into a data science, and because of that I opted for either data science or software engineering, right? So at the end of the day, what I feel is like, it's not about the technology, because we never know like what is the technology which is going to come next year or maybe even a next month nowadays, right? So what was your initial motivation? See, just for the sake of saying something, we can say that okay, fine, so this is amazing, that is amazing. But if someone is trying to get into a data science as per you, or data analytics as per you, so what will be the average package they can expect as a fresher, or maybe as a person who is having 1 or 2 year of industry experience? And if someone is getting into a software engineering, so what is going to be the package wise, if you can say, because that is something which everyone would like to know.
All right. So basically, when we talk about software engineers, so again, the say like different companies give different salaries for software engineers. Talking about the fan companies, they are the ones who are paying the highest. So if you talk about software engineer will get a basic package somewhere between 15 to 20 lakhs if it is between,
As
if
a,
it is for
as
a
a
fan
fresher.
company. Yeah, as a fresher in India, yes.
Okay, okay. But in
The
FANG company.
in fan companies, if you go to like in fan companies and some of those top tier companies, right? But if you go to most of the companies, the basic package is somewhere around 10 lakhs for software engineers.
Okay. And what about like a data guy?
For data guys are of two types basically. One are the one who are the analysts, and others will be some the data scientists. So data scientists are the ones who are like highly paid. So data science is something because it requires experience. So what the thing is, it's difficult sometimes to hired to be hired directly as a data scientist coming from undergrad, because talking about the fan companies, their requirements are like you need 3 years of work experience, or you should have a master's and experience. So they don't hire you directly, like majority of the times for undergrad, but they are high paying jobs. Sometimes like they will pay you, a starting data scientist gets a salary greater than or equal to an SDE. So you will get it 15 to 20 lakhs, or you may get more.
Okay.
Talking about a data analyst. So basically, if it is not a fan company, data analysts will get something around 5 to 10 lakhs base. And let's say if it is a fan company, they may get it around 15.
Okay. What about Wipro, TCS, Infosys? They just try to pay 3.6 lakh to
Uh,
everyone. Doesn't matter whether it's a data guy or software engineer.
yeah,
But
yeah. So yeah, yeah, yeah. That is true.
yeah, that's a fact. Okay. So as you discussed about the software engineering and data, like a person, data analytics or data science. So, what is your favorite programming language? Because what I'm assuming is like as a software engineer, you must be using a different programming language, and as a data person, you must be using a completely different programming language. So, you can name it. If you can name it, I think that will be better, and then we can discuss about it a little bit.
All right, so when you talk about the data science part, it is always Python. So
That's
that yeah, it is always Python. But when you talk about the software engineering part, so for me it is C++. But most of the people there's a debate between C++ and Java. So the C++ community is like more than the Java ones, but people either prefer Java or C++. But for the data, it is strictly Python.
and what about JavaScript?
In JavaScript, so basically, as I told you, if you are starting afresh, you will start, learning to code. And when you say you start learning to code, you have to practice some problems. Now, if you choose C++ or Java, so basically you get to, see the implementation more clearly, and that is where you get more understanding in. And again, the community that C++ and Java has is way more than JavaScript or Python when it comes to DSA, which is the core concept when it comes to software engineering. So better if you choose among these languages.
Okay, so how much DSA is required? Because everyone try to mention that go for a competitive coding, try to explore hackers rank, try to explore lead code or maybe a code forces. There are again so many platforms for practicing those kind of a things, right? So how much DSA is required? So how many number of problems in general we are supposed to solve on a lead code and on hackers rank? Let's try to quantify it in that way, right? So how many problems I'm supposed to solve on any of these platform, and then maybe I will be eligible for a FANG company or maybe some product based companies.
All right. So when it comes to the importance of DSA, it is really, really important. And again, I'll repeat the same thing. What most of the guys fall for is the crazy stuff that's going on. They will fall easily for AI, ML. They'll get into CS and they want to do that. And that is not what you should do. You should start with DSA. Now, this is the thing which I'm explaining to most of the learners I have taught. But what like 50% of them will end up not following this because again they get distracted with the crazy stuff that is going on, right? So just do not fall for that. It's very important. All right, now when it comes to the number of problems, so exactly the quantity does not matter. Yes, practice is important, but what I feel is the problems that you have solved, even if like it's 100 problems or let's say 200 problems, because some people solve like 1,000 problems, some people are good with 200 to 50 problems. So what I feel is the 200 problems that you have solved, if you are good enough to solve them again. So let's say I give you a problem today, you're not able to solve it, and that's completely fine. But when I tell you the solution, you code it, you should be able to solve it tomorrow. If that is the case, definitely you can go to the 500 mark or 600 mark. This should not happen that the problem I'm giving to you, you are not able to solve it after a week, and you just keep on jumping over problems and you just clutter all of them, right? So that is not what I advise.
And then which platform people should use for what this purpose, for like solving the coding
So
problem.
So basically, lead code is the most famous. GFG is also there. So personally, I used GFG, but most of the people they go for lead code, and most of the problem there's a great overlap. Like 80% of the questions will overlap. So you can go to either of them. Both of them serve the same purpose. You can go to any. So these are the DSA problem solving platforms. If you want to go to competitive programming, there are other platforms like Codeforces, CodeChef. So for the DSA
And then,
part, you can go to any of these.
and
Yes.
how much people have to pay for it? Like let's suppose if I'm going for GFG or if I'm going for like a lead code. So what is a like a price that I have to pay initially, or I can do
You,
it
you,
for
you,
free?
yes, you can do it for free. You don't have to pay anything. It's all free. It can be done like with zero cost. You don't have to pay anything for that.
Okay, okay, okay. So you have a experience, Harshit, with Amazon and Jetta. So which one
Yeah.
was better in terms of culture? Because nowadays, like all of us are talking about work-life balance, this toxicity inside a company's environment, toxic manager, or maybe your boss or something like that. So according to you, as per your experience, so which one was better, Amazon or Jetta?
So basically, I got to learn a lot from both of these. So I'm not blaming the work culture of any of these, first of all.
Let's talk about
You,
work culture because see, even in a toxic
yeah.
work culture, we all learn, right? And even in a good work culture, at the end of the day, we all learn. Doesn't matter what kind of work culture you are into, we learn. Let's forget about that. Let's talk about just a work culture.
Sure. So basically, yes, when you talk about the companies who are paying you well, now like both of these, so basically they want you to do the work. So you will be overloaded with tasks. You have to do the work. So yes, in the initial days, as a fresher, you should not expect a very good work-life balance. It's a thing when it comes to the like the fresher students. So you have to work hard in the initial days. Work for me, work life balance is something you should expect after you have spent some time in the industry because you are there to learn in the initial days. So it's fine to do put in all of your hard work, and that will definitely bring in results later. So just don't worry for now for the work life balance.
I'm still looking for my answer. Which one was better? Amazon or Jetta?
For me, the more learning was in Amazon, so that one is like better for me. Yes,
Okay,
because
and even
there you get a lot of learning curve because uh, the responsibilities are more. So everything is more, right? So yeah, you have to do a lot of work. So that is the thing. Yes.
yeah. So package is more, team is good. Again, very highly qualified people will be around you to guide you.
Yeah.
Again, pressure will be a lot, work will be a lot, but yeah, learning will be more. Plus, I believe other perks like a facility for transportation and then food and all those things.
Yeah. You get everything, but you have to give in everything. So that is also something. Yeah, that are expected from you. Yes.
Okay. So again, nowadays, so over internet, so we are talking about this 70 hour of work culture, right? I think
Yeah.
we as an Indian, we all are aware about it now. And who has started the conversation, we all know the name. Let's not go over there. But what is your view on that? Like 70 hour of 70 hour a week. So are you like giving a thumbs up or thumbs down in a favor of or against it for that 70 hour of work?
So, like for me, it's definitely a thumbs down. But when you talk about like 70 hours is way too much, but 40 hours is what is expected. So what I think is 40 hours is not for the freshers. 40 hours for freshers, it should be 50, 55. You have to put that effort if you want to work at good companies, if you need good package. Because when you are new, you have to learn a lot of things. You have to understand the culture. You have to put in efforts, and that will definitely not happen, in such small. So you have a number of hours because if you are cracking it to the fan companies, you have already put some of the efforts, right? So just continue that and just keep it more for the experienced folks. It's like reasonable to the 40-hour thing itself. What that is what I feel.
But for a fresher, so I think they should work bit more, right? As per you.
Yeah, the official working hours should not be increased. 40 is fine, but if 40 is written, I think it's like you yourself should extend it to a little more so that you come at par and you're able to perform. Because when we talk about these big companies, so they have a bar which you need to raise, right? If you're not raising the bar, actions can be taken and things can become difficult for you. So to meet all of those expectations, it's necessary to put in the efforts.
Okay. So, Harshit, as you have already mentioned, that even I can see that on your LinkedIn, and that you have mentioned that you are teaching and you are teaching with upgrade, right? So, what do you teach, and what is a do you teach fresher, or maybe do you teach someone who is in a mid career level, or maybe they are very senior? So, what is what do you teach, and to whom you teach?
So yeah, so basically to the courses that I have covered, so you get to see different levels of people. Some are college going students, like doing their undergrad. Some of them are with a couple of years of experience, or some of them are completely agnostic to the technology. They want to, let's say, switch careers. Some of them want to, for example, I'm taking a class for full stack development, let's say. So they want to go switch from, let's say, data analysis part to core software development. So those kind of people are there. I've also seen people who have, let's say, 5 to 8 years of experience and they are trying to move into the big tech companies. So those kind of people are also there.
Okay. Okay. So, in general, right? So, in general, so what is the most irritating question you receive from your students? Because yeah, we as a teacher, so we keep on receiving a repeated question, right? Every day, same question people are asking, and then we have to give an answer because we as a teacher, so we can't stop ourselves, right? So that's a job that we used to do, and that's a responsibility that we all have. So, what is the most irritating question that you used to receive?
So one of the question is the same thing. What should I do? AI, ML, web development, or that those crazy things? Again, I keep telling everything, and a significant part of my life has gone in explaining people do DSA, do DSA. Do not get distracted to any of these. So that is one thing. Another thing is, let's say, let's talking about the software engineering interviews, or going to the big tech companies. So they just want to crack the interview. They don't focus on the learning curve. So that is what I keep telling.
So basically, like everyone is looking for a kind of a solution which we can try to apply immediately or instantly,
Yes.
and they can get into a job. Even
Yeah.
as per my experience, right? So as per my experience, so I have even used to receive a kind of a question. So where people say that whether I will be able to get a job at my home or maybe in my district, in my town, and even that, I used to receive that kind of a question. Like, so people are sometimes they're even looking for a home delivery, or maybe in next couple of days or weeks or month, people will start looking for a 10-minute delivery of a job. That okay, I'm looking for a job, give it to me at my home in just 10 minutes, because now everything is very very quick, right? Just because of quick
Mhm.
commerce, you can get everything at your home itself. Okay, so when it comes to data science or data analytics, so obviously language wise, so we used to follow a Python programming language, and that is like without any kind of a doubt. But apart from Python, let's suppose I know I'm a guy, I know Python. Apart from Python, so this very first thing which people are scared about is the mathematics. They say that I have to learn a mathematics, and maybe in our childhood, most of us was not very good with mathematics. We were like average students in a mathematics. So what is your what is your take on that?
Yeah, so when it comes about the coding, like pure coding part, or if it comes to the data analysis or data science part, so mathematics is something which has a very crucial role to play. So because any problem I think that you get, so be it your interviews or anything, there will be things which will involve a good use of mathematics. So yeah, I do recommend to the ones who are listening to have a strong hold of mathematics if it comes to the software engineering. If you're talking about data science, you need even more sort of mathematics, because some topics of mathematics, like you have statistics, probability, then linear algebra, they are like really really important when it comes to data science. So yeah, it has
Okay.
a really important role to play.
Okay, so on the same thing, so coming to the next question, now people are saying that we have a generative AI, right? So we can just try to write a prompt somewhere on a Gemini, maybe on a Cloud Day, maybe on a Chat GPT, and then I will be able to get the solution. So let's suppose I'm trying to learn machine learning algorithm. So people are saying that why I should go and learn machine learning algorithm, why I should go and learn this mathematics that you're talking about, because I can just type a prompt, I will be able to get the answer. So what is your take?
All right. So, yeah, you will definitely get the algorithm which you are searching for. But let's say you come up with a completely new problem, and now you are here to design a completely new solution which you have to implement on your own. And what you have done is you have just prompted for the entire life to, let's say, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever. And now is the time when you have to do something new. So if you know the algorithms in advance, you know how all of these are drafted. This knowledge will help you to draft all the new information that you need to spend. So prior knowledge is required. Chat GPT, Gemini, and all the AI tools that we have, they are there to support you to make the processing, the time, everything less. Okay, so any kind of effort that you want to do, that is to shorten it so that you can think of the important things. You get to have more time to think upon these important things, right? They are not just to completely take all of that, because things will not be very easy when you come to real life scenarios. So that is what my take is on that.
Yeah, and even so, what do you think? Like people are saying that going forward, Chat GPT or these kind of a AI system that we have, generative AI system that we have nowadays, it will be able to write a software. So it is going to replace a software engineer. Going forward, it is going to replace even a data scientist, data analyst, and everyone, right? So how do you see this like a growth that we have seen last 2 year? Because since last 2 years, so we have started talking about masses wise, right? So we have started talking about like a generative AI, and we are even trying to like speculate that maybe it is going to take our job. So is it really going to take our job?
So, like according to me, or what the ads that you keep watching on, let's say, oh, sorry. All right. So yeah, according to me and the ads, that are going on the internet is, and that is very true. So what these ads they tell us is that the AI will not replace you, but a person who knows how to use AI will replace you. So what I see is just see AI as someone who can help you advance. AI is not someone who is your enemy. If you use it and like you and the AI work together on a given problem that is given to you, you will be able to solve it in much lesser time because none of you can do, without the help of each other. So just take it, use it as your friend, and you will be good to go.
Yeah, so even I sometimes used to say the same thing, that try to use AI, because even before AI, so we had Google, we had a Stack Overflow, we had a lot of GitHub repositories. So where we used to go search for the code, or maybe look after the errors that we are getting, and then we try to solve it. So yeah, that somewhere like the time consumption to solve a particular problem has been reduced. But at the same point of a time, maybe yeah, it's not like you will be able to get each and everything from AI. And even I have tried a couple of projects with AI, and believe me, with not even a 5% of the code, it was able to give it to me, which I can deploy in a production system. So yeah, that was a actual reality. But if I'll talk about our common people, so those who are not actually working with AI or working into an actual system, actual engineering stuff, the people who are not doing it, so they always like get scared about this entire things. Okay, so moving to our next question. So, how frequently do you use a GPT or Gemini or any this agentic AI kind of a system?
Uh, like for me, it's a daily usage because anything that is not clear to me, any article I'm reading, any concept that is not clear to me, anything I want to explore, I'll go there and I'll learn it. So for me, as I told, if you work along with it, the learning curve will be smooth and it will be exponential. But if you like avoid it, if you think it's like completely of no help, it will not help me, it is only there to replace me, then it will be something, that if some other person who's there using it, they will always, supersede you in anything that you see. So that is something, yeah.
Okay. So, next question that I have. So, in general, uh, let's suppose if I'm trying to prepare for maybe data science, or maybe I'm preparing for a data analytics job. So, how do you see? So, am I supposed to go ahead with a kind of a self preparation, or should I opt for someone, for some mentors, maybe some companies, edutech companies I should look after? So, what is your strategy? So, when you were trying to prepare for Amazon or maybe a Jetta, or when you will try to prepare for the next company, so is it good to go ahead with some help, or it's completely fine if I'm not taking any kind of help from anyone, I'm not joining any to a company, or I'm not like taking any help from the mentor? So which way do you follow?
So personally, I did not like during my undergrad, I studied all of it on my own. I did not purchase any course. Like because that is the starting part. Like what I feel is DSA is something which you may do on your own, and yeah, some because the thing is I did not do it, but personally, if you get a course, so that is kind of a structured approach of what you should do, and some people find that okay, if I get a structured approach, like okay, you give me the assignments, you give me the articles, you give me the videos, and you put all of that in a single place. So that is really what I need to do. And some people find that interesting as well. So it is something which varies person to person. And I did not take like a mentorship kind of a course, but yeah, I took a couple of or maybe more Udemy courses where you get those recorded lectures and some pre-assigned. Okay, so yeah, it depends person to person.
Just to get some sort of a heads up. Yeah. So mostly I have seen that people who used to like join this fan companies, right? Whenever I used to talk, and whenever I used to ask this question, that who was your mentor and from where you have done the entire preparation, they simply said that I have not taken any kind of a help. And when I talk about like a guy who is on the other side of this FANG companies, so mostly I believe those people, they need more help. Maybe they need more support. But yeah, it's very much true that at the end of the day, it's depends person to person. It's going to be like varies.
Mhm.
So okay. So what is your take with respect to a startup? So many people ask me a question that. If I get an opportunity to work with a startup and work with product-based companies, so which one I'm supposed to choose in a beginning? Product companies wise, let's forget about FANG. Let's just talk about simple normal product-based companies, and then we have a startup on the other hand. So, what do you take? Like, do you love working with the startup, or do you love going ahead with the well-established company in a beginning as a fresher?
All right. So as a fresher, if you go working with the startups, so you will get to learn more as compared to some other product-based company. Because when you go to a startup, that is something which is evolving. They may be constantly refurbishing the code that they may have written on the back end, some sort of architectural changes that they may have done, sort of design discussions. So when you go to these startups, you get to participate because I worked in both. So Zeta, which I work for, that is a startup, and Amazon is a product-based company. So at product-based companies, you get scale, you get big data, but and everyone wants scale. They want to work with big data so that they have big impact. So that is the take what most of the people have, and that is a really good thing. You can do that because they pay you good and they provide you scale. But when we talk about the startups, so when you are working in a team at a startup, you will be someone who is expected to know end-to-end architecture, what is going on about the different events or anything that is going on in their architecture. So you get to learn a lot. You get to learn the entire thing, and the projects also they may tell you to they may give you a good hands-on, which you may or may not get in some product-based company. It completely depends. So my take is, yeah, it's good to work with a startup because you get to learn a lot in the beginning. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So now coming to the another section. So yes, we can go ahead and work with the startup and maybe with the product based companies. And obviously, to crack any of these, we need a tech skills, right? To crack maybe a startup or maybe to a product based companies. But apart from tech skills, so what are the other skill set which is very much needed to attend any interview or to crack any interview apart from tech skills?
So when we talk about the software engineer or the proper technical interviews, so like 80% of it is the technical skills because what happens in the interviews, let's say for the software engineering, the fresher roles, they will give you a coding question. You have to solve it. Let's say in the interviews also, DSA is again very important. So you'll get a DSA question. You will be given like 30 minutes. And apart from that, they may ask you, let's say, 4 to 5 other questions, some conceptual questions they might ask you. If you're good to go with each and everything, you clear the interview. So 80% of it is, yeah, that is the technical skills. The other part which is left is like, yeah, you should have good communication skills. They might also give you some behavioral questions that you might consider. So they might give you a situation and how you solve a situation. So those are some aspects which you might want to cover as well. And yeah, that is also a thing there. But most importantly, you need to have a good grasp of the technical problems. So that
If
is
you're
the
not
priority.
So if you're not very good with the soft skill, but still there is a very high chances that they're going to hire you, right? They're going to
Yeah,
onboard you.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Because the technical roles, the most important is how good you are with the tech. Because the client side interaction is not what you are expected to do there. You are an engineer, you have to code. So if you're
Hmm.
good with the code, you're good to go.
Hmm. Maybe on a senior level, so obviously, the
Yes.
expectation for a soft skill will be more in that case.
Yeah, so when we talk about basically business intelligence, which I have worked upon when I was at Amazon, so there, yes, you do require some sort of good communication skills because there you also have stakeholder management and you have to, have a good discussion with the stakeholders. So because you have to serve a lot of ad hoc requests when it comes to business intelligence. So yeah, that is something which is required in that particular role. But when you talk about software engineers, that is not a very important thing to have.
Okay. Okay. So coming to my very last question, just a piece of advice I'm looking for, that if I'm a fresher and I'm like from a tier 2, tier 3, or maybe tier 5 colleges. I don't know. Like, I'm not from a premium colleges, let's suppose. And if I have to get into a product based companies, or maybe into a FANG companies, so what should be my roadmap from a very first year? Let's suppose I'm a student, I'm in a first year, and it's my dream to get into a product based companies by fourth year, by the time I'm going to complete my engineering. So what is a path I'm supposed to follow, when I'm supposed to start my preparation? Maybe first year itself, or second year, or third year, or maybe fourth year. So, and then what I'm supposed to prepare, as you have already mentioned that DSA is the very first thing. But yeah, so how I can choose the path, that whether I should go ahead with the software engineering and maybe data, or maybe ops, or maybe a cloud, and then how I'm supposed to do a job hunting, or maybe how I'm supposed to do a like a search for an internship, because nowadays in every colleges in third year or fourth year itself, so people are looking for an internship, right, to get some sort of experience before joining a full-time work. So what is your take, and how should my journey from first year till fourth year, without
All
like
right.
compromising with the work and life, without compromising with the life study and life?
Sure, sure, sure. So basically talking about the timeline when you should start. So basically it's never too early and it's never too late. So the earlier you start, the better it is. But even if it's late, no problem, you can always achieve it. So basically, let's say you start from the first year or the second year. So the first thing that you should do is pick up a language for the in which you will be solving the essay. People choose among C++, Java, and Python. Python is yeah something which you can choose, but a good community is there in C++ and Java. More of it is there in C++, so most of the people end up choosing C++, but you can choose Java as well. I don't recommend personally recommend Python for DSA because Python has lots and lots of super inbuilt function. So like 2-3 lines of Python code are sufficient for many of the codes that are done. Okay, so you don't get to learn many things. So I recommend to pick any of these two languages from C++ and Java. So that is the first thing that you should do. Second thing is once you pick up the language, you need to have a good grasp on it. Now, this is not the time to jump to DSA. The first thing that you should do is get a good grasp of the language. Make sure you learn the functions, the syntax, you code it well. Try practicing the basic problems that you have so that the functions and everything, the normal syntax of the language is clear to you. The oops concept is clear to you in that particular language. All right. Now, once that is done, you're good with the language, this is the time to jump to DSA. All right, so you start with the basic data structures like you have arrays, you have strings, and some of the basic algorithms. Like you start with the basic sorting or searching algorithms, like you have linear search, you have the simple sorting methods like that. So you start with the basic, and then you keep advancing data structures by data structures. So from these simple data structures, you also have more complex data structures like trees, graphs. Then you have so complex algorithms also, like you have the dynamic programming algorithms. So that is you have to go step by step, and that is how you should proceed with DSA. Okay, so and the most important thing when it comes to practicing DSA is consistency. So what I tell you is do not go for solving, do not think that, hey, today I'll solve 20 problems, 30 problems, and tomorrow you just left it and you're not doing it for a week, and then you just feel bored and you don't want to do it. So do not let that happen. Solve a single problem, but do it every day. So consistency is really the key in DSA. So first thing is consistency. Second thing is repetition. Any problem that you solve, because there are like template problems that you have in DSA, and when you get a new problem, you should be able to relate with them. So whenever you are, passing through these template problems, it's really important to not forget them. So whenever you feel that, okay, something that I did a month or a couple of months ago, I may have forgotten that. That is the time to go back and repeat it. I'm not telling you to, mug up things, but yeah, you should be aware with the template questions. So that is what you should do. So this is how, you practice the DSA thing. Now, once you're done with the DSA, or while you are doing the DSA, so you may or may not want to go to the competitive programming platforms like CodeChef, CodeForces. You can go there as well. But the CP platforms and the DSA platforms, they are two separate things. Do not mix them up. Okay. So for the interviews, DSA is something which is more important. So your major focus should be on the DSA part that we have, right? All right. So once you are done with the DSA, now you can, if you have time for the interviews, like this is something which you have already done in the second year, now you can consider moving to, the web development, full stack development, or the machine learning and all of those things, right? Do not do it before that, because when it comes to the interviews, these are not the things which will help you. So this is the roadmap that you should follow. Pick a language, get good grasp on the language, start with the basic data structures and algorithms, keep practicing with consistency and repetition with the DSA things. Now, when once you complete the DSA, you have the complete thing that you have done. If you have it, then jump to these other, crazy things going into the market, and only then, these will make sense to you. So,
And
yeah.
and how to like search and where to search for a job or internship?
All right. So basically, talking about the Indian institutes, so there the campus placement thing happens. That is really good, and I think in the
So
mostly in
let's
the
talk about
tier two and
let's talk about fourth tier college. Their campus placement never happens, so they have to go out and they have to search for their job. They have to again do the upskilling or something like that. So yeah, so what is the open platform, so where you can advise anyone to go and then like do a hunting, or what kind of a networking advice you will give, whether it works or like never works?
all right. So like most of the companies I've worked for, be it the instructor ones like Upgrad, HackerRank, or most of them that they were like off campus. Okay, so uh, you know, the most important thing is your skill. So basically, LinkedIn is a very good platform where you can go. Indeed is a platform where you can search for jobs. Then Naukri.com is also there where people get internships. Internshala is there where people try and they get some internships in the startups. So yeah, these are some platforms which where you can go. So LinkedIn is something where I tell to have a good profile. Make sure that you keep updating your profile on LinkedIn, so that if a recruiter may be searching for someone for the internship, they can see your profile and they can approach you. So like a couple of times that has happened with me. If your profile is, if you are keeping your profile updated and you are mentioning each and everything, what do you do, which kind of jobs you're searching, so the recruiters will approach you. So yeah, that is something which you can do. So make sure to maintain a good LinkedIn profile, right? And talking about the like low tier colleges, so make sure that you have a good resume. A good resume consists of good projects. So when you are done with the DSA thing, also make sure that when you go to web development, because web development is something which directly relates to what we do in software engineering. So make sure that you make a couple of good projects. You will get them on the internet, or if you are pursuing any of the courses which are available online, they will tell you the projects that you can keep. So make sure you have a couple of good projects. You have practiced a number of DSA problems, and yeah, that's all you need to have.
Okay. Thank you so much, Harsit, for this advice for a fresher, for a software engineer, for a data guy, and yeah, a people who is coming from a lower tier colleges, and how to do a preparation and everything. So with that, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and hope when you are going to watch this one in a future, so you all are going to love it. You all are going to appreciate it, and whatever advice Harsit has given to you for a fresher or for anyone who would like to come into a data industry. So please try to follow an advice. And yes, before getting into anything, so as per Harsit, try to prepare for a DSA consistently, right? This is, I think, yeah. So that's a advice that we can take out from this podcast. And apart from that, so keep on working hard as much as possible with a dedication and discipline and consistency, and you will be able to get fruitful results. So with that, thank you so much, Hasid, for joining us, and thank you so much, everyone, for watching this one today, tomorrow, or maybe in future. Thank you so much. Thanks.